Welcome back to our channel where we share with you the most amazing true stories reported by our users. Make sure to subscribe if you have already so you won't miss out on these incredible stories. Today we will be reading from a popular subreddit. The arrogant officer demanded respect. Then her own commander stripped her of rank. There was this one officer who had only been in the military for 2 years and was working under me. I had no issues with her work performance or anything like that. She did everything that was asked of her, and she was actually really good at what she did. But she got into a power trip and started acting really arrogant. At first it wasn't a big deal. It was mostly comments here and there about how she was right, even when she was wrong, or having people do things just because she said so. And I had a conversation with her telling her to stop doing that, and that if she continues doing it, I will have to write her up. But she didn't listen. So this is where the story starts. A few weeks prior to this story, there were some renovations being done on the base, and there was a crane lifting some stuff and placing it on the second floor of the building we were in. One day they were supposed to lift a big pallet of boxes from the ground floor to the second floor, and this is where the protagonist of the story comes in. She was walking behind a sergeant while they were waiting for the crane to come pick up their boxes. And the sergeant talked to the crane operator and told him that he would have the boxers ready as soon as the pallet was in position. She cuts him off and says, "No, you need to tell them to hurry up. We don't have all day." Sergeant looks at her confused and asks, "What did you say?" She repeats herself, and the sergeant tells her that he's talking to the crane operator and that he'll get around to it when he's ready. She gets angry and walks over to the crane operator herself and tells him that he needs to pick up the boxers immediately. He tells her that his partner is setting up the hooks and that he couldn't pick it up without his signal. She tells him to just forget about his partner and just pick it up anyway, but he refuses. As he's arguing with her, the sergeant goes to grab the box to move it into position, and she runs over and grabs his arm and pulls him back, saying, "No, you need to wait until the crane is in position before moving it. You could hurt yourself." He rips his arm out of her grasp and tells her that he is fine and that he knows what he is doing. He moves the boxers into position and the crane picks it up and takes it upstairs. I was observing this entire event from across the room, and I walk over to them as soon as the boxes are taken upstairs. I ask her what the hell she thinks she's doing, and she turns around and says, "Nothing. I was just helping the sergeant." I look at the sergeant and ask him what happened, and he explains it to me, and I turn back to her and tell her that she couldn't just tell people what to do because she thinks she's better than them. She says, "But I was trying to help. I thought someone needed assistance." I tell her that the way she did it was completely inappropriate, and that if she does something like that again, she will be written up. She tells me, "Fine, whatever. It wasn't my fault anyway," and walks away. I knew I had to write her up after that, but I waited a couple days because I was busy. The day I finally got around to writing her up, I called her into my office, and I sat her down and told her why I was calling her in. As I'm writing her up, she keeps interrupting me and basically not taking responsibility for her actions. At one point, she stands up and starts yelling at me and says, "This isn't fair. You didn't even give me a chance to explain myself." I tell her that she was given plenty of chances and that she still chose not to take responsibility for her actions. She sits back down and I finish writing her up, and I tell her that if she has a problem with it, she can talk to my first sergeant. She gets up and leaves my office and walks right into the first sergeant's office. Later that day, I hear the first sergeant calling people into his office. Which isn't a big deal, because he does that sometimes. About 10 minutes later, I hear my name being yelled and I walk into the first sergeant's office to see the same officer standing next to him. He tells me that she came to him with a complaint about the way I wrote her up, and that he wants to know what happened. I explain it to him and he tells her, "Why are you lying? He was right. You did cause a scene and almost caused a serious injury to yourself and others." She tries to interrupt, but he cuts her off and continues. "You are a newly commissioned officer and you do not have the authority to tell senior enlisted personnel what to do. If you have an issue with the way something is being done, you take it to your superiors, not the other way around. You are lucky that I am in a good mood today, or you would be facing some serious consequences right now." The best part is that he took away her temporary rank of officer. She was only an O1 when she came in, but she had been selected for O2 and was temporarily holding that rank until her official O2 ceremony. He told her that she would be demoted back to her permanent rank of E5, and that I would rewrite her up and send it to her permanent chain of command. She started crying and begged him to reconsider, but he didn't. She went and cried to the commander, who was my boss's boss, and he upheld the first sergeant's decision. She ended up being demoted and re-upped to an E5 with a less than honorable discharge. I felt bad for her because I knew that she could have made a great officer, but she had a massive ego and lack of professionalism and humility. That was our arrogant officer demanded respect. Then her own commander stripped her of rank. And if you like this content, check out the series we made based on similar stories. The series is called People Just Do Dumb Things, and it is about people who make terrible decisions with huge consequences. There are 5 seasons of pure entertainment. Link is in the description below. Now it's time for the "What do you think about this story?" Let us know in the comments section below. We can't wait to read your thoughts. Also, please make sure to vote for the best story of the day, so we can keep bringing you the best content. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.